so I shall put Dr. Daniel in. Okay, so Dr. Daniel, before we start, right, because we still have one speaker, which is Mr. Rusmin. He's not in yet.
Yeah, we can start maybe with a short discussion between me and Chiara, and hopefully Rusmin will be able to join us ASAP.
All right, so
he's a busy man.
Yeah, I do think so. Okay, so let me start off with the introduction. So for this 6 p.m. session, which is the last session for today, so we will be having 3 speakers to share their views and experience on the topic. So it's Asia Pacific, and the West, global alliance and possible integration as the PropTechWay moving forward. So our first panelist here, we have Chiara Tagliagro. So she's the co-founder of the Italian PropTech Network. She's also the fixed-term researcher of Politecnico di Milano in the Real Estate Center. She aims at developing new strategies and innovative technologies to drive workers, organizations, and cities toward a more sustainable future. So we have the second panelist, which is Mr. Rusmin Lawin. So he's the Global Ambassador of Real Estate Indonesia, Chairman of Regional Development Committee of Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Global Ambassador of Asia PropTech Hong Kong. He was recently appointed as FEPC representative to United Nations Geneva from 2021 to 2022. And he's also the International Advisor of Fundación Metropoli Espana and Middle East City Center of Dubai. So he's also the Special Envoy of Nusantara New Capital City Authority under President Jokowi Administration Office. So the last panelist we have today is Dr. Daniel. So he's the co-founder of Ray Group and startup Preponomy.com, a mentor and a serial entrepreneur and investor in tech startups, and the president of Malaysian Proptech Association and council member of the Global PropTech Alliance. So Dr. Daniel and Ms. Chiara, so the floor is yours.
Ciao, Chiara. How are you?
Ciao. I'm very good. Thanks for the introduction and the great pronunciation, by the way.
Yes. I was really listening carefully, and the pronunciation was absolutely outstanding.
Exactly.
Good, great job, Toby. Great job. How is everything, Chiara? How is everything in Italy?
It's everything is fine. It's getting cold, so the winter is coming. Right now I'm envying your background. It's really nice. It seems very technological. I'm sorry. My plain background, plain reality, my bedroom.
No worries at all. No worries at all. We have been all learning how to become virtual in different ways in the past 2.5 years. And I have to say that even though I love physical events and physical meetings, the extensive use of Zoom, the extensive use of virtual ways of communicating have been allowing unbelievable connection and networking opportunities in the past 2.5 years. Our friendship comes from the pandemic. Somehow.
Correct. It wouldn't have been possible and so effective, I think, without these virtual tools and the pandemic, probably.
Absolutely. All right. And well, it's very interesting that today I've been opening this second day of our Asia Pacific PropTech Summit 2022. I've been opening the day with a discussion between East and West similarities, challenges, opportunities, talking with Dr. Alina from San Francisco, US.
Okay.
And we are closing this second day with another discussion with the West from Italy, my Cancun country. And Cancun country means the country where I was born, the place where I was born. And his local is Bahasa Malaysia, Kampung, village, kind of small village. And I also need to plan a bit of Kampung Balik, Kampung, actually. Flying back home
Yes,
for a
yeah,
short
exactly.
holiday.
We're waiting for you.
Yeah, thank you. So what we were discussing this morning were the similarities and differences in approach towards the built environment from a East cultural and business and opportunities point of view compared with the West. Hi, Rosmin. Great that you made it to join us. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, man. And sorry for keep on disturbing you this year 2 times. The very first and the very last. You have been opening APPS 2022 and you are closing APPS 2022. You are the man.
Okay, I'm still in the airport on the way back to Jakarta from Pontianak. Okay.
Which airport?
Pontianak is the West Kalimantan.
Oh, Pontianak. Yeah. Rusmin has been giving a very insightful presentation, and we had a short fireside chat on Nusantara, the new capital of Indonesia, with all the challenges that he's going through as a special delegate from President Jokowi for a business assessing team in terms of bringing to Nusantara business investors, partners, and so on. So going back to what I was saying, Chiara, I start with Chiara 1 minute, Rusmin, then I come to you.
Yeah. Ciao,
with
Chiara,
a nice question.
Ciao, Rusmin. Nice to see you again.
Yeah. My honor to
the man everywhere. You are just unbelievable, Rusmin. I admire you so much. I think your residential address is in the air.
In the next to you, PWCT.
Yes, correct. So, Chiara, let's talk a bit about how PropTech is impacting the European and in a micro manner, Italy, built environment ecosystem. From which angle, what are the segment verticals of PropTech which have been used and implemented, accepted the most by the market?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, and I think it's very interesting to compare the Asian and the Western perspectives. I think that also the American perspective that probably this person from San Francisco represented this morning and the European perspective are quite different. So what I can tell you about Italy is that the development of PropTech is a little slower compared to other countries, to other European countries, especially to the Nordics and to the UK, let's say, even if it's not Europe anymore on a more administrative level, let's say.
They've always been considering themselves a island, a big island nearby Europe.
Exactly. No, that's we have been a bit slower, but actually it's a sector that is booming now. So what we have been observing is that basically there is a strong development. So as I can tell you some of the numbers that we monitor with our Italian PropTech network, we started in 2018 when we collected about 45 names of small companies, startups that could have been called PropTech companies, and now we have reached about 250. So in 5 years, I think that or in 4 years actually, we grew a lot. Now we have been also a little modifying our approach to PropTech, our definition of PropTech, so it became a little larger, and now we are including in our count also the contact sector, because finally they are also starting to introduce digital technologies in their processes. And actually what I've been reading and reflecting upon is that actually the construction sector and the property management sector are becoming closer and closer, because obviously this is like the life cycle is getting smoother, and the passage, the transition between the construction phase and the management phase of what has been built is now more connected together. And so we thought it would make sense to include also these companies in the breakdown of the companies that we consider PropTech. But overall, I can tell you that at least for what concerns Italy, most of the efforts concentrate in data elaboration and management, data collection, elaboration and management. And so this includes all sorts of companies that are not directly B2C, but mostly B2B. So they are supporting other companies make the best out of the data they have, basically.
Yeah.
There is also something that is moving about the construction sites and digital twins, and how these digital twins can basically inform the construction phase up until then the management phase. And so this is also an interesting element that we are trying to explore at the moment. So this is our scenario, and we believe that the more we grow, the more the Italian market is becoming also interesting for international investors. And we needed to become more and more recognizable on an international perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I can proudly say that Italy has been at the top ranking in terms of construction quality, construction researches, construction materials for years. We have been building the biggest dam in the world, from Egypt to China and to Africa and many other countries. Our civil engineers are top paid all around the world, were top paid all around the world. And construction companies have been keep on expanding overseas. So I would expect the construction technology, the contact side, the vertical construct of PropTech to become extremely important and relevant for Italy. Don't you think so?
Yeah. No, definitely. I totally agree. We are very strong in that part. We are probably less strong in project management, the development side, and this is something that actually can be strongly supported by PropTech. So I believe that over time, of course, it's a slow process, but PropTech technologies, let's say, so the technology that supports a PropTech will really help also in this sense. All the applications that concern, for instance, the progress of the works in the construction phase, and the contracts, for instance, so out of blockchain that allows for automatically signing contracts and checking on the progress of the construction work. And so in the end, we'll support also the project management and management of the construction site that will become very strong and strongly adopted in our sites. There are a lot of and now there are a lot of local projects, especially I'm talking about Milan, because this is the city where I live and work at the moment, and it's probably also the most active city in terms of regeneration processes, etc. With these new projects, they have been implementing some of the technologies that could be considered a PropTech, and so finally in the next years, I think we will see the results of this kind of implementation.
And I'm pretty sure that our friend Rusmin, as well as the mayor of Jakarta, could be extremely interested in having a look into the regeneration project that have been completed in the past 20-25 years within the Milan municipality. All the channel project, rejuvenation project, the full rehabilitation of the area Falk, Bicocca, and much more have been transforming horribly devastated industrial areas in fantastic green areas. Is really the last time I was in Italy, I walked around those areas which in my memory were totally kind of a minefield of a world, a war field full of cramped vehicles and destroyed buildings. And I was just, my mind was totally blown up by what I've been seeing. So, Rusmin, let me ask you, Indonesian Proptech Association that was established in a low growth manner back a couple of years ago has been now launching a website, is becoming more and more proactive in Indonesia. You are a ICO in property development, property management, now as a special envoy of President Jokowi for Nusantara. You are definitely involved, heavily involved in the planning of the new city, planning of new partnership. How do you see this cooperation between East and West, leveraging on our differences? As Chiara was mentioning, the West, Italy, and Europe in general. I remember, Chiara, you did a very interesting research and you presented it last year at ARIConnect in March, if I'm not wrong, either March or June, in which you were comparing a number of PropTech by population, by market size, and so on. Extremely interesting comparison. Where in Europe, we can see a huge presence of real estate management solutions, built environment management solution, not that much, I think, in transaction, not too frequently promoted, at least in terms of transaction and planning. And even construction has not such a big number of tech solutions. While Malaysia, for instance, has, allow me to say, quite a well-distributed number of PropTech companies. In Malaysia, there are about 350 PropTech startups, out of which more than 100 are our members. And out of these 100 members, we have a decent distribution, so to say, between construction, transaction, and management, and slowly planning with huge access to big data, analytics, AI, geospatial analysis, use of drone technology, and more is coming in a heavy manner, even supported by our government. So you, Rusmin, from your standpoint, from Indonesia, where the PropTech ecosystem is not as active as is in Malaysia yet, but is definitely coming up fast. How can you leverage? How can you leverage on our geographical close-byness and at the same time leverage on the European experience and European availability of a wide range of solutions?
Yep. I'm not statistics expert like you, but I would like to tell you to contribute my thoughts in from the top of from aerial view. Okay. Yes, if you are talking about PropTech, we are talking about ecosystem starting from government, policy, superstructures, and also infrastructures, the players, the cable, the data center, the internet is the backbone, right? So as you know, the Indonesians has 17,000 400 islands, right? We have more than 500 cities. It's quite with almost 300 population. It's not easy to start this while government also have a lot of top priority, right? So I can tell you that PropTech is not even the a priority of the government to take a look at. Okay, but we are lucky because we are backed up by the Real Estate Indonesian Developers Associations. They are our founders association. Then from there we can have a exercise with between amongst the real estate player, because we have 6,000 members, developers player from east to west. So I've been to Italy so many times, Chiara. Piacere di conoscerti. I'm Rosmin Lawin. Okay, so I've been to Milan. I know Greater Milan, and also the way that you save energy is very interesting, because my friend told me for certain hour you can drive your car into the center of Milan, but you can use you can hire the car just by the apps, and we took the small car to park inside the city. So it means like you cannot bring your car, but you can use the shuttle car that provided by the private sector using apps. You can take it from anywhere, from your apps. You can see where the car is, then you can just pay and drop it at anywhere that you want to pull off. It's very interesting, Kiara. I experienced that the red car. So I can say that West and East, so Asia PropTech, Malaysia, Indonesia can play a role at the place, because in European, especially some European country like Estonia, even Estonia, you can buy property using blockchains now, right? Sorry, Bitcoin, right? And also it's very easy, and all using blockchains, the e-government. But you can use this as an advantage when West meet East, because West have a bunch of property technology development, right? And but the development and construction and also real estate is very busy in the Asia side, while the West side has a lot of good apps, good tech, but they have limited playground to play. The Gabero, you see that? That's the point that I foresee, that we can. That's why we can play this role out of reach with the best transform technology, and also maybe knowledge, experience. Also, I said, why not capital to build Asia PropTech together?
Very, very, very true what you are saying. In terms of challenges, we have probably 10 times the challenges that the Western countries are having in terms of property development and property management, because of climate, because of culture, because of aging, fast aging, and not as well as in Europe or US maintained building. Our challenges are no doubt much, much higher. We have more probably PropTech solution here compared to the West. However, we need to learn a lot on what the West have been able to develop. And one of the things that this morning I was discussing with Alina, Dr. Alina, by the way, thank you so much for introducing me to her. Fantastic person with a huge knowledge and a big footprint in the built environment in US, and not only.
Because he lives in Silicon Valley.
Sorry?
Because he lives in Silicon Valley, so he knows a lot.
Okay, yeah, correct. And one of the thing that I find different between US and Malaysia, and probably is the same with Italy, and it's definitely the same different between Malaysia and Italy, and different between Malaysia and Indonesia, is the relationship between PropTech and the built environment world. Because in Italy, the PropTech movement, so to say, has been initiated from the academic side.
Yes.
In Malaysia, we are now approaching the academic side to help us, to cooperate with us. In Indonesia, the PropTech movement has been starting, as well as in the Philippines, from the built environment industry, stakeholders, property developer, asset manager, asset owners are the ones that are initiating the process. Here, startups are the ones that have been initiating the process, and now we are having troubles in getting along with the old stakeholders, real estate agents, valuers, property managers. Not all of them, I would say actually very few out of many are friendly to us. Majority are kind of suspicious, afraid of losing their job, losing their relevance in the market, kind of, which I didn't find this morning with Dr. Alina. I would like to understand if in Italy and Indonesia, the relationship between PropTech ecosystem and the built environment is more friendly from this point of view.
Yeah.
Chiara, you
Yeah,
first.
No, I totally agree with what you just said. No, to be honest, there is a lot of skepticism here as well. You're right in the sense that in Italy, academia, my university, played a big role in trying to aggregate and systematize the initiatives that were generated in the startup ecosystem in the end, because initially it was really small companies, small ventures that started to launch these new solutions, and now they have been more maybe visible to traditional real estate companies, and so these companies have either developed their own small groups that are dedicated to PropTech, or they are acquiring startups or buying single solutions in order to solve some of their issues. But we've been facilitating a lot this process. What we have been observing is that definitely there is a lot of fear from the traditional sector to be, I think to be overcome and to be left aside from these new solutions that are very difficult to understand for people that have been using very traditional methods that have been relying on our heavy bureaucracy and heavy administration processes. But that is what they know, and they are not used to continuous learning and to developing over time their skills, their competencies, etc. So they have been educated maybe, 20, 30 years ago, and that is what they know, and they don't really want to integrate this. So I've been now part of a panel. I've been hosted by this company that is called World Capital Group. They have been launching a sort of a small academy for real estate agents, for instance. And within this academy, they also wanted to introduce a little bit of the PropTech technologies. The attempt is now really to try and integrate more these technological novelties in the skills, in the background of people, because I think that the first important step to take here is to show what is the potential before scaring out people with the technology that can be really difficult to understand. I think that it is important to show what is the possible outcome, and then after that people will become really interested. They will understand that these technologies can facilitate their daily life, daily work, and make it more efficient, safer, and things like that. And after that, probably they will be more willing also to invest in new competencies, maybe new people also to hire in their organizations, and investing in also new technologies.
Very interesting. But at least from my understanding, there is not a firewall kind of built by the traditional real estate agents, lawyers, valuers, and so on, property managers, in terms of saying, oh, you are stealing my job, kind of. in the Western culture is more a resistance to the implementation of new technology.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, exactly.
While here in Malaysia is more the fear of losing a job, kind of.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think that here in Italy, one of the barriers is also really that we have, as you might know, very heavy regulations on everything. And so really like the pace of change cannot be as fast as in other places, like also in the US, because things are very difficult to manage from a legal point of view. And so when you want to adopt a new technology, most of the time you cannot do it directly because there is a regulation that, I don't know, forces you to do things in a certain way. And so this might be incompatible, you know, with the law. And this is one of the reasons, and changing laws, you know, takes...
That is another big challenge.
And so, yeah.
How much the regulatory bodies are behind the technological advancement. Here in Malaysia, we are still working with acts that need to be revised ASAP as they have been designed, where mobile devices were not available. So is one of the big challenges we have here. How is it the relationship between the stakeholder of the built environment and the players in the PropTech ecosystem in Indonesia instead, Rusmin?
Okay, we have been going through the series of stage of PropTech, right? For the first wave was something like a web marketing portal, right? Like Property Guru, Rumah 123. And then the second wave come with the big data, then the lead generation system, and then come what is it? Is the PR, amateur reality, now become the drone, right? The drones is one of the latest, and AI is one of the IoT is one of the latest trend, right? From the market, because developers, I'm developers as well. Because from our perspective, now we don't need this kind of web marketing lead generation anymore. Because of ESG, because of a big push from European side and US side that you have to go green in development construction today. I can foresee the trend is going to be construction tech, Dr. Jamil, because we signed a agreement that by 2040 we have to be totally green, right, in development, zero net zero. Right. So as well as Malaysia, most of the Asian countries is just signed before 2040 or 2050. If you don't sign it, you are out of game. You cannot export anymore to Europe and US.
Yeah.
Where you know that how the habit of the developers, right? If there's no push by law, they will not do that. Okay. So I can see that the contact is the future now, instead of this marketing applications. Contact that or comply to ESG, environmental, social, and governance, right? So this is the trend that we can push into PropTech, right? It's part of PropTech. So like green buildings, saving energy, how to make the one development totally green, and less using cement. It's a challenge now. It's a big market. I think with Nusantara is the one of showcase for the world to see how we drive the first zero net carbon emissions city.
That will be an exciting case study, Rusmin. I cannot agree more with you.
So the contact will be in demand, Daniel. Big demand.
Yeah. I will talk to our contact member to approach you ASAP.
If you are compared to green development, you can get green bond, you can green finance, right? It's now a
Yeah.
trend right now. We have to go.
Yeah. And we have a very interesting question here from the audience. Aaron Ong is asking which type of challenges we have here in the East in adopting PropTech solution from either North America, Europe, or Europe into the Southeast Asian context. Allow me to say one thing first. As president of the Malaysian Association, I will tell you that the biggest challenge is us because we are blocking them. We are the one bringing them to you somehow. Let us handle the technology side, and PropTech property players handle the property side. But this is a joke, of course. What type of challenge can you foresee, Chiara, in bringing over to Southeast Asia the Italian or European PropTech solutions?
Yeah, so I can talk about the internationalization strategies of our companies because we've been asking them through our yearly survey how they are trying to develop their activities, expanding overseas, also in the US and in Asia, etc. And in Africa as well, which I think is a very interesting continent.
Extremely.
Yeah. So I think that to some extent our Italian companies are still pretty small and they are not looking so far in terms of development. So the first dimension that they want to expand to is Europe, because I think they feel safer here. They feel that there is a clear framework of also regulations, as we were talking before. There are some funds from the European Union. So to some extent, I think it's a territory that they control and know better. There might be a language barrier. So even if now, obviously, our companies are operating in English mostly, I don't know how much they feel safe in approaching Asian organizations, because I guess there is still, I don't know if this is the truth, but there is still the belief that there is still like a local language that in any case, I think in the construction and real estate sector is still a strong element to consider always when you move to other countries. This is what also I've been sharing with James Dearsley, for instance, from UNISU. We talked a lot about this issue, and he agrees that even though PropTech is homogenizing a lot of things, helping out with standards and things like that, but still, I mean, we are in the process and things are still very local. Standardization aspects might be also key in this transfer, because obviously, I mean, in Italy is the country where I think 1,000 standards can be found and 1,000 different rules in the different regions, in different cities. Just to think of the, for instance, hygiene regulations for buildings that are different for each single city. So you might have different, I don't know, sizes of the windows and things like that. So this is really what I think our companies are afraid to find elsewhere. And also, I think it's a matter of funding. So our companies have been now trying hard to collect funding. Some of them have been very lucky and very good. At also an international level, there are some that are very visible. Think of Casavo, and there is another about crowdfunding that at the moment I cannot recall the name of, but probably I will have it in a couple of minutes. And yeah, but I think that this aspect of, I mean, internationalizing requires a lot of energies. And if you are small and if you don't have the financial support to do this, this is not your priority, and you try first to expand and to become more solid in your local market, and then you look outside. So I think that these are the most important factors that perhaps still discourage our companies to move to Asia. But yeah, I mean, our collaboration, you know, can definitely help. I cannot hear you. I think you're muted.
I would say that probably one of the things that might be happening in the forthcoming future is to see close cooperation between Western and local PropTech solutions coming together in terms of integrating into each other. Imagine my solution here in Malaysia is A to M, and then I find a solution in Italy who can give me the N to Z. I integrate this solution into mine. And for the local market, I am the one in charge. And maybe for the Italian market, the solution in Italy will be the one in charge. What I would keep on, what I have been keep on predicating, advocating, evangelizing with our members is always, guys and girls, try not to replicate wheels invention. The wheel has been invented. Now let's use it together. Meaning, I do one part, you have another part that is fully integratable in my solution. Let's make friends and work together instead that against each other, which is something that has been happening and is happening more and more within our members. So I'm pretty happy about seeing this. Definitely, language could be a barrier in some cases, of course, not from US, but European countries beside UK, Germany, Netherlands, Northern European countries, somehow, Spain, France, Italy, Greece are not so familiar with English, allow me to say so. So there may be a problem with the language, and definitely the regulatory part, which is extremely different. When laws, acts, processes are regulated by local laws, then it's all about personalizing, tailor-making this part of the application, bringing in additional cost, which at the end might be transforming a economical PropTech solution in Italy in a too expensive PropTech solution once it is exported to Malaysia. This is how I look into this challenge eventually. It is definitely much, much easier looking into exportability, globalizing solution from Southeast Asia, from either country in Southeast Asia within Asia Pacific. All right, but even our solution, when they move to Africa, when they move to Europe, when they move to US or South America, might be having challenges, unless we are talking about a pure digitalization of a process without any big impact from the regulatory part. Well, we are already 3 minutes, I think, after our time given. Am I right, Toby?
Dr. Daniel, we are okay with you to continue if you would like to.
We just ask one last time to our public if there are any questions. Please put up the question in the Q&A section. Aaron, I hope I've been replying to your question for you, for the question that you have been posing up. Let me know if anything else needs to be clarified. Rusmin,
Yes.
if you're not yet boarded on the flight.
No, I'm almost boarding actually. Okay.
We close very soon. We close very soon with a promise, as I did already this morning. I'm committing myself to come and seeing you in Jakarta very soon.
You're welcome.
Because I want to close ties with the Indonesian Proptech Association, and above all, seeing how together, not only PropTech Malaysia and PropTech Indonesia, but with all the other global partners that we have been finding and closing ties, we can help in the future development of Nusantara.
Yeah. So I have another insight as well. It's very
Yes,
simple.
please.
We have to keep encourage our community to be more educative, because we have big market, but they haven't been educated in a good way yet. Educated and also socialize it, the PropTech. Because if not, they will feel, oh, Gambero, you are killing my business, man. I will kill you soon. So
I'm not there to kill, I'm there to help.
from Milan came to Malaysia and kill our job. Oh my God.
No. I am very friendly with the Indonesian guys.
Actually, we are bringing solutions to them. So we need academic, because with academics, research and proven data, it will be easier for them to digest what we are been doing for the last 5-6 years. So socializing PropTech, even to the governments, all stakeholders, and also actually the most important part is we can help them to save the cost, save the time, efficient in an effective way. This is the message that we have to keep telling them. Okay.
Yeah. We really need in the PropTech community, global community, to learn how to talk more to each other, to open up our mind to cooperation, integration, common studies, because at the end of the day, what we want is the success of our solutions, basically. I'm not talking about my solution or whoever else is the PropTech ecosystem in the world is a big family, right? And we need to find ways of working together. And I am actually looking forward to work together with some of your team, Chiara, on the project of affordable housing. Yes, very soon. I will reply to the email very soon. And I would like to ask both of you one short sentence, not only to close this last panel of APPS 2022, but also to close APPS 2022. What are your wishes for 2023 in one sentence?
So at this point, it would be to come visit you in Malaysia, Indonesia, and maybe come with some of our companies to introduce them to you and see how they can collaborate more closely. That would be fantastic.
Very good. We will work on it. We need to work on it with the Italian embassy, organizing a business mission of PropTech and Contech.
We should.
We need to.
Yeah, Kiara, I forgot to tell you that we have a huge backlog of the housing in Indonesia. Currently, our number is 14 million housing that we need to do. So if we can shortcut this problem into true technology, I think it's something very interesting that we have to explore and immediately, because there's no other way to chase this number if you don't use technology. Technology is the tools that help you to do things faster, efficient, and effective.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, mio fratello.
Just to them, it's either you are developers, you are brokers, you are asset manager, you are bankers, you are loan the provider. Change your mindset. Think about how to do things in a millennial way, in a more efficient and effective way. Don't keep using that APPS old mindset Kopitiam way that can wasting your time and make you a stressful conditions. Okay, at the end, you need health and peace, of course.
Fully agree with you, Rusmin, and I will definitely reach out to both of you for more insight and more connections, and wish Rusmin a very safe flight back to Jakarta, my fratello. You take care, please, and be safe.
Hi, Pak Rusmin. Jason here.
Hello.
You've not met me before, but you've met my partners, and we're going to meet you this coming week, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
So my partners didn't introduce us, so I thought I'd introduce myself in this platform. Nice meeting you, Rusmin.
Yeah. So, arrivederci, Chiara.
Arrivederci. Have a safe flight.
Bye.
Ciao,
Have a
Rosmin.
celebration, concluding
Ciao.
celebration. Bye.
Ciao,
Bye.
Chiara. Thank you
Chiara.
so much.
Bye, ciao, Chiara.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you
for joining
very
us
much.
again this year.
Thank you for the invite. Bye bye.
Next year is going to be physical. Bye, Rosmin.
Bye.
Safe
Safe
flight,
flight.
my friend. Bye.